Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Welcome to another episode of Run It Back. Beadle is having technical difficulties with her audio. She'll be back momentarily. I'm going to show you what podcasting does for you, Chandler.
Let's do it, baby.
Here we go. Last night we had a really good game with the 76ers at the Bulls, visiting them. The Bulls, they got over a 24-point deficit last night to get over beating the 76ers. What did you see last night from the Bulls, or do you think the 76ers just fell asleep at the wheel? What was your take last night, Chandler?
Let me tell you something. They were down 24 points late in the second quarter, and this team just stuck with it, Lou. They were resilient. This team, listen, they lack talent. They don't have the most talented lineup. They don't have the most talented roster in the NBA. But the way they play, they have constant movement, constant, flow. They're third in assists. They're second in three-point percentage. To me, that tells me that they're getting great shots. Josh Giddey is the head of the snake. I don't know why we're not talking about this dude. He's averaging 23, 10, and 9 points. They're well coached. They play hard. And again, it's just a free flow on offense. Guys like Kevin Huerter are giving them outside shooting. Vooch has always been a solid big man who's kind of holding down the paint. Ayo is giving them great minutes off the bench. A key adjustment I think Billy Donovan made is he brought Pat Williams off the bench. This is a former top 5 pick who had a lot of expectations, got a little bit of a payday, and that was a big move, I think, to kind of move him to the bench, let him be more comfortable, let him fit in. But this team's rolling, and they play the right way. They play smart, and I can't talk enough about Josh Giddey, man. Big guard. He always showed flashes of it in Oklahoma City. Obviously, they were loaded in the guard position, but, man, he's really turned the corner, and he's shown why he got that big payday this summer.
Yeah, absolutely.
What'd you
Welcome
think
back,
about
Beadle.
it, Lou? Thanks. It's hoodie day. I witnessed this. Yeah, here we go.
No, you
Sorry,
know what?
Lou.
Watching it,
You would have seen the panic.
Look, he legit panicked. But
I saw it, and honestly, I think Lou did a great job. I need a little more pep in your steps, some more smiling, and you'll be fine.
All right.
I almost acted like I was frozen.
Yeah,
I'll take the coaching. But listen, you know what, y'all? Last night watching this game, I realized that the 76ers are a real team. The Chicago Bulls are a real team. You know, Chicago, they play great together. You know, you feel like Vooch is, you feel like Giddey is the head of the snake. I like what Vooch is bringing to the table. He was in attack mode early. He's a stretch 4. He's a stretch 5. He gives them that option. And when you're a guard like Josh Giddey and you have so many targets that you can hit and guys doing their jobs and being in the right spot, it make it easy. I thought the Chicago Bulls played that way. And on the flip side of it, I thought the Sixers, they made a lot of tough shots early. Like, I watched this game. I saw Maxey hit a tough fadeaway three-pointer to start the game. He hit another fadeaway three-pointer to start the game. Sometimes that's fool's gold. When you make some tough shots early on and you know that the game is going to slow down at some point and you're going to have to play half-court basketball, I felt like they kind of got fooled into a half-court basketball game, and that's why Chicago was able to walk them down. But all in all, I think both of these teams are the real deal. I look forward to seeing how they mature going down the stretch, what adjustments both of these teams make moving forward. But I like what Chicago did. I like how they played, and I like how Philly played as well. You know, being down 24 points and losing the basketball game obviously is never an ideal thing, but I think they still got a lot to work through. Jared McCain, he's still trying to work himself back into the lineup. He didn't have a great night last night, didn't score, didn't get a rebound, didn't get anything. You can expect his usage to go up, obviously a lot. You can expect VJ to have better nights than he did. He shot 4 for 12 from the field. Joel Embiid wasn't efficient from the field. I think that all comes from them making big time shots early on in that game, and they just didn't adjust well, and it didn't go their way.
You know what's crazy this morning? I was thinking about that game, and I reminded myself that Paul George still hasn't come back yet. And like, that's crazy to me that we still have a Paul George. We're waiting on that in the middle of all of this. And I wonder how long it'll be before we can, look, there's a lot of game to be played still, but we did this with Detroit. At some point, maybe you take a turn as an organization and you start to get good again. And I'm wondering if maybe this is the beginning of that for Chicago. Can we get our good friend Stacey King his call on the Vucevic game-winning shot? Here he is.
Up a screen. Giddey races to the basket, fires it out. Vucevic the shot.
Vucci Main for 3. Vucci Main steps up again. The grizzled veteran steps up and hits the biggest shot of the season. Oh my goodness, Elizabeth I'm coming again, Elizabeth. Oh, Lord. It's the big one, Elizabeth. The Cardiac Bulls again.
Ridiculous.
I think Stacey
We
King
got
been
Vucci
listening to us.
Man.
What
We
you
got
think?
Zucci Man.
I think Stacey King been listening and watching the running back. He talking about Vucci Man. I think you know where to get that from, but I like it. That was a great call.
Chandler, you hated it? Why are you shaking your head?
No, I think it's unbelievable. I just think it's funny that we just Zucci Man with Zubats and now Vucci Man and the grizzled vet. I love the energy. I love the guy. I forgot his name, but the commentator on the Hornets, he really leaves it all on the floor. He goes ham with some highlights. So Stacey King, he's giving him some competition. But listen, this Bulls team, they're so interesting to me because we talked about yesterday the Bucks, right? Who's their number 2? We obviously know Giannis is their number 1. Who's the Bulls number 1? Like this is literally like this is a team. This is a team that they have 9 guys that average more than 7 points. Like I said already, they're 3rd in assist and they're 2nd in 3-point percentage. So they're playing together. They're playing as a unit. Josh Giddey's doing a great job controlling this offense, but there's no clear cut number 1. They just go out there and they hoop and they play hard and they move the ball and they get the best possible shot. To have that good of a 3-point percentage and that high of assist every single night shows that they're playing offense the right way. They're playing unselfish. They don't care who scores. But when you look at Josh Giddey's numbers, I mean, bro, he's averaging 23, 10, and 9. And this is the first time we've said his name all season long. And the Bulls are 6-1. This kid deserves a lot of credit. He got paid. A lot of guys can kind of take their foot off the gas after that. He's doing the opposite. He's making that jump, and he's showing why he got that contract, and he's a huge part of why these Bulls, without a clear-cut number 1, really, are 6-1 and at the top of the East.
Yeah, for
also,
me,
Kobe White is not back for Chicago.
Kobe
We're
White
just talking about players that are not
another 20 points a game.
Insane.
Yeah, for me, it's hard not to say Josh Giddey when you have those numbers, but I'm just looking at Vooch last night, man, and it felt like he was the motor. Like, they were still playing through him. The offense was still ran through him, and they were taking advantage of the opportunities that they had that he created. And Josh Giddey was able to find everybody, and he was able to be just as aggressive on the offensive end as Vooch was. But to Chandler's point, that's the great thing about the Chicago Bulls early in this season. You can't pinpoint who they're going to play through. You can't pinpoint who's the best player on this team. And I don't really know if they care at this point. You know, they've had some bad runs. They haven't really been able to find that traction that they wanted to find as a basketball team. And now that you have it, don't mess it up by worrying about whose team is it or who's the number 1 this, number 1 that. Just play the best basketball that y'all can play as a unit and continue to rack up these big wins. This is a great win for the Chicago Bulls team early in the season because I'm sure they got haters. I'm sure they got doubters and people that don't think that this is real. So for them to continue to rack up these wins and beat the teams that we keep highly touting as the better teams in the East, this is going to be good for them down the stretch, I believe.
It's fun to see that building happy too. Like it's a joy, if you will. We're gonna play a little game called Is He an All-Star right now. I feel like we can do a bunch of these here in these first few weeks of the season, but these are the numbers. Well, I mean the silhouette, guys.
The silhouette is
gives
crazy.
it away.
Is that Carrot Top?
Is he an all-star right now?
Clearly, that's Joel Embiid.
Clearly.
Is he an all-star, Michelle? Yes.
At the moment,
he's 23,
sure.
10, and 9, damn near averaging a triple-double on technically right now the best team in the East. Yes, he is an all-star, damn near an all-star starter with what the start that they have.
Wow. Where is Josh Giddey from?
Australia.
So he goes on that side. I don't know the rules. I don't know these.
My side is killing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know these
You're
All-Star
American,
game rules.
Michelle.
I don't know how many guys are going to be on each side. Do we have any update on the rules? How does this work? Or
we don't
know. I still don't have clarity on that. But listen, they're the number 1 seed. They're getting if this was All-Star voting stopped right now, they're getting an All-Star, and it's got to be him.
That's
they might get 2.
By the way, when I was putting together my foreign team,
they stay there.
I didn't even think
Billy
in that
D
one
might
spot.
be the coach.
There you go. As it stands today, on what is this, November 5th, 4th, whatever it is, the Chicago Bulls are the best team in the East. They're gonna get afforded some of the perks of being at that spot. Who knows?
Okay,
We're gonna really ruffle some feathers
positive
with our power rankings later.
No, I know. I was going to
God.
say, like, let's just hold off on the super
I was trying to get us out of it yesterday. I was
You
unsuccessful.
tried. You tried really hard. I was proud of you. Okay, yeah. So look, they're the top team in the East. Let's try to foresee the future and how realistic we really think this team is. And I remind you of the Pistons when you do this, but they've made the playoffs once in the last 8 years, and they haven't made it in the last 3. So realistically, Chandler, are we looking at a playoff possibility here?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be weird to say no right now with the start that they've had. And they also, like we talked about, they have help. Kobe White's been out of the lineup. Ayo, who's had a great start this season, he didn't play last night. Zach Collins, another, valuable big that they have coming off that he didn't play last night. So they do have a little depth. They have shooting. Like I said, they move the ball. They play offense just the correct way to play, unselfish, extra pass. I have a good shot. He's got a better shot. They're moving the ball to him. And they have the big fella who Booch kind of reminds me of a Miles Turner, right? He's been on the trading block, I feel like, his entire career. He's a great dude. He plays hard. You never hear any distractions or problems with Booch, and he just keeps his head down, and he gets you 20 and 10 every single night. So, yeah, it'd be weird to say they're not a playoff team right now. They're 6-1. The East, we said, is wide open. We see these good teams that we thought were going to kind of get off to a good start, like the Knicks, the Cavs, the Hawks are banged up, the Celtics. The Bulls have shown right now they are a better basketball team right now, and they'll make the playoffs in the East.
Yeah, I think this is good for them. I think this great start is going to be beneficial to them going down the line. Let's say they do find some bumps in the road. You're giving yourself kind of a runway to deal with some adversity in this season. So for them to go to the 1 seed and find themselves outside of the playoffs, I don't really see that happening, especially with how the East is built right now. So many different teams going through that adversity and their adjustments as well. I think they maintain. Again, they've figured out a way to win basketball games as a unit, as a team. The ball is moving around. Everybody is happy. We're talking about guys having an opportunity to have all-star years. I think everything is lining up for the Bulls to not only be a playoff team, though, to be a top 4 team and possibly get home court advantage if they continue to play this way.
Whoa.
What crazy. All right, we're going to talk some Sixers here. We're going to get positive about that in a second, but you got to start at the top when you talk Philly. And of course, that's Joel Embiid. And his second half of this game was pretty abysmal. Look, he looked tired. He was settling for some pretty ugly shots. He got 2 points, I think, in the whole second half. Chandler, look, everyone's got their opinions on whether or not the Joel Embiid we want to see and we have seen will ever come back. Do we start just sort of deciding like, this is it? This is kind of how it's going to be?
Well, if you're Philly, no, because you need him to get to that ultimate level, of success this season. And again, help is on the way. We talked about Jared McCain gets in the lineup last night. He was a little rusty, but we know how good he can be. Paul George, we know the type of player he is, but what version are we going to get of him? Those are questions for Philly. The big looming question is how good can Joel be? How many games can he play? How long can he stay on the floor? And he's shown signs of greatness this year. He's also shown signs of just going through the motions and not that dominant Shaq type force that we've seen in previous seasons, especially that MVP season. So it's a big question. And obviously there's a huge hole there without him in the lineup, without giving you 25, 30 minutes a game. They do have other pieces to kind of make up for it. They have arguably the best dynamic scoring backcourt in the NBA with VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey. The start that they've got offensively is unbelievable. But for me, when we start talking about contenders and, home court advantage teams, they're going to need a better version of Joel Embiid than we've seen right now. And to the eye, he doesn't look right. And it sucks because it's my boy and I know him and I love him. Something's off, and it's you don't see that aggression, you don't see that dominant give me the ball. You haven't really seen that. You've seen flashes of it, but you haven't seen it consistent. And the way he's moving, he doesn't look fully healthy to me, and that's a little bit concerning. That's always going to be the question. Similar questions with New Orleans, with Zion, with the injury history there. You have those same fears with Joel Embiid. So I'm hoping he can find ways to continue to stay in the lineup and stay on the floor because they need him. And just personally, he's a stud, and I want to see him play at that level. But he's been very inconsistent, and I don't think he's fully healthy.
Yeah, the pros and cons that I see, the pros are he knows that he's in limited minutes. So he's very aggressive in his limited minutes, knowing that he's going to play in 4 to 5 minute stints. So he's giving you what he can give you, being Joel Embiid, and that's an elite score at every spot of the floor in the half court. The cons to that is it looked like it's hard for him to move out there. Even on the defensive end to start this game, Vucevic gets a drive-by dunk because he can't slide his feet. Then he gets a three-pointer because you can't get out and contest. It's like something isn't right. His knee isn't right. His knee isn't giving him, that speed that we're used to him being as agile as we're used to him seeing. You just don't see that pop. Like the 76ers, they're playing in transition and they're kind of waiting for him to get down the floor so they can set up their half-court sets and have him involved in that. Those are my cons. Just looks like he can't really move right now. He doesn't have that mobility that we're used to Joel Embiid having. Now, again, when we get into the half court, it's not a lot of people that's going to be able to stop him, but he's also settling for jump shots as well. So that tells me he can't get to the rim and make the moves that he wants to make, but instead he's settling for a lot of jump shots and he's living and dying by that jump shot. I don't know how sustainable this is going to be for the 76ers. Hopefully this is something as the season go on, he gets better, he gets more healthy, and all of these guys that's coming in and out of the lineup, you can be able to mesh all of these things together and have a successful run with Joel Embiid being in the lineup. But I don't know what happens if he can't get that knee to the level that he wants it to be. Now, as far as him being a world talent, that's going to go as far as his knee is going to go. If his knee allows him some separation to get away from defenders and for him to be able to defend, you obviously have to add his name to the list of guys. But as you know, Chandler, and as you know, Beadle, the game grows and the game moves on from all of our guys. Every year we're talking about a new young guy being a star, at whether it's the guard position or the power forward or the center. All of these young guys are starting to create names for themselves, and the game waits for no man, Joel Embiid included. So if he can get healthy, he's always going to be a top world player. But in the position that he's in and the condition that his knee is in, it's just it's hard to say that right now, especially when he's only playing 20 to 25 minutes in a night.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. It's definitely such what have you done for me lately? And what standards and expectations do we have for Joel Embiid that he doesn't look great physically, just to the naked eye when we're watching him play? At the end of the day, he's playing 23 minutes a game, and he's still averaging 18, 5, and 3. Think about what player would we not be okay with doing that? Damn near averaging a point a minute a game. It's just Joel has set the bar so high, and he's such a dominating force that the 42% from the field shows me that he's settling. He's taking the little face-up jumpers. He's not being that aggressive, get to the rim, finish on your head, get to the free throw line even more. I don't want to see him start settling into a jump shooter. And that when your body fails you, that's the easiest thing to do is to do that. So when you look at his numbers, 18 points a game and 23 minutes is not bad. It's just we're so accustomed to him being so dominant and so aggressive and having that zip and that energy, and we have not seen that this year. But numbers-wise, it's fine, but there's still so much more for him to do and him to be, and the Sixers are going to need it. But 42% from the field for a guy his size and his physicality just isn't good enough.
I think it's also, we all say hopefully, and if his knee and, if his health, and it's counterintuitive to think it's going to get better because we're in it. Like we're in the season now. So for it to get better just feels like that's not logical, but we're holding out hope. We are going to do positives though, because they are 5-2 after all. I mean, it makes it sound like it's all negatives. It's definitely not. They're second place in the Eastern Conference. And as we've mentioned, Paul George has yet to come back and Jared McCain just did. Right. So they're going to get a lot healthier, Lou. We just talked Chicago, who's sitting up top in the East. Is this a team that really could actually come out of the East as the best?
A lot of positives. You in a league full of scoring guards, you got one of the best ones in uniform for you. If you're the 76ers and Tyrese Maxey, you like where VJ Edgecombe is coming along and what he's been able to do as a rookie. You enjoyed Jared McCain last year, his impact in his rookie campaign and him coming back and getting healthy. Paul George is yet to get in the lineup. Joel Embiid is still one of the more dominant big men in the league when he's in the lineup. So he's trying to give you everything that he can give you in the 23 minutes a game that he has. You got a lot of different things that's working in your favor if you're the 76ers, and it's shown early in the season. I don't panic with some of the adversity that they have like we did last year because everything hit at one time. It was Joel went out, Jared McCain went out, PG went out, and then the wheels fall off. You don't have that now. You have a guard that's playing at an all-star level, at a superstar level. He's playing with hella confidence. Like the first shot of the game last night for Tyrese Maxey was a fadeaway three-pointer off a screen and roll. And I'm like, man, do you know how much confidence in your ability do you have to have for that to be your warm-up shot to get going in the game? And cashed it out. And then his next shot was just as tough. So when you have a guard that's playing at a confidence level that high, he's going to give you a chance to win a lot of basketball games. He's going to give you a lot of chances to compete night in and night out. So I feel really comfortable about where the 76ers are and their chances to stay at the top of the East, especially if they can stay healthy. Now, that's been the biggest caveat for this team, is staying healthy. Right now, they're in a good spot with everybody coming back, being in uniform, opposed to going the opposite way and guys going out of uniform and then putting them in a tough position. So I feel really comfortable with saying right now, at this point in the season, as early as it is, that the 76ers are the real deal.
Yeah, and I think they're going to continue to get better, right? No matter what version of Paul George we get, no matter Jared McCain's going to help. Joel Embiid, it's almost whatever he gives you. If he can get to that level, it's almost a bonus at this point. But to me, Kelly Oubre, he's been the X factor. He's played all games, started all games, averaged 19 and 6. He's consistent. He's been efficient from the field. He's always kind of been that solid two-way player. So to me, he's kind of been that consistent, valuable asset with all these questions, with all these injuries. Him and obviously besides this backcourt with Edgecombe and Maxey that have been tremendous. Those three guys have really carried the load. And again, if you told them, 2 weeks ago that they'd be 5-2, considering the circumstances, everything they've been through, they would take that 10 times out of 10. So they are for real, and they're going to continue to get more healthy and better.
One of the later games last night out here in Los Angeles, Thunder taking on the Clippers. Told y'all, Thunder are going to lose. It wasn't going to be last night. There's no Kawhi, no Bradley Beal for LA. SGA has another 30-point night, 12 assists. He did that all in 29 minutes. Not bad. Isaiah Joe with 22 off the bench. Chandler loves saying Isaiah Joe. We get to talk about that. Harden with 25, 6 assists. He had 22 of those points in the first. But they're rolling. They're just going to keep it moving. 8-0 now, best start in franchise history, coming off of a championship. 15-0 start is what we have most recently from Cleveland last year, and that was a fun ride for everybody just to watch that happen. Are we thinking we can beat that? I mean, we like to make fun bets here with each other. What do you think?
I mean, look at that schedule. I
don't even think we need the schedule to say yeah.
I was gonna say, do we even need it?
You're right. I could have seen the Rockets, the Nuggets. They could beat anybody. And listen, it's the NBA, anything can happen. But that is a very, very, very favorable schedule right there. And this team, they just never cease to amaze me, man. Again, just insert Isaiah Joe last night, let him go nuts and have 22. SGA is just a constant. To me, last night too is a real test. They got kicked in the mouth early with James Harden going berserk. I think they were down 14-2 or 12-2 or something. And they just stay calm. They stay cool, collected. They're so young, but they're so mature, and they play just with that poise. And it starts with SGA, obviously, and his whole demeanor. But this team is just so good and so solid. And on the flip side, they slowed the Clippers down. They played great defense. Switch. Perimeter defenders all on the same team, all on the floor at the same time with two offensive, brilliant players and SGA and Chet. It's just they can mix and match so many different lineups, and they have such a luxury of just throwing in, the Mitchells, the Aaron Wiggins of the world, and they just don't miss a beat. So this was a great team. This was youth first experience, and youth came out on top even after a pretty sluggish start for them. They forced the Clippers to do things that makes them uncomfortable. But this is just, I feel like every single day it's hard to find something good to say about this team because they have zero holes. And I think they're gonna break the 15-0 record. I think they're gonna continue just to win basketball games because they're so young. Even if they're so deep, there's no load management with this team. Give me at least 17-0 start for this team.
17. He's on the record. It's on the record, Lou. I don't know, man. Sometimes it's that one weird game.
It's always that one weird one, right? But when it comes to OKC, they play a lot of those weird type of games where it looks like tonight is not their night. And then they have this switch that they click on and they take it one possession at a time. We're going to go one possession at a time. Stop in the bucket, stop in the bucket, stop in the bucket. That's a classic, and it works for them. You never see this team rattle. You never see them get out of character. They continue to play their brand of basketball, and they always find a way to get themselves back in the games. night in and night out, every time. Like last night, they got off to a slow start. It looked like the Clippers were gonna have a good night, and then slowly for surely they just begin to walk you down. They begin to wear you out, and that comes from the depth that they have on this team. That comes from the leadership, and that comes from having the shot making ability and the guys that they have. They just got it all. They got it made for them. You got to give them credit. We talked about. We're 2 seasons ago, we were talking about how inexperienced they are and how we can't trust them. Now look at the level of trust that we have in this team. Like we're
I
not
trust
even
him
batting
so
the
much.
yeah, we're not even batting the lash anymore. Like I don't even want to see the schedule. I think they can run through all of these teams if they play their brand of basketball. Obviously, you start to travel, you start to do all of these different things and these different factors that go into having a season where you can break records like this. Those things count and those things matter. But with this team, it looked like they don't. So I think they can rattle off 18, 19 in a row if they really
Oh,
wanted to and they stayed healthy. They really could.
18, 9. Wow, we're just getting up
And
there. Okay,
by
I
the
just
way,
asked.
this is all without Jalen Williams. Like
all of it.
it's all without their
Correct.
all-star, all-defensive superstar. Like it's ridiculous. It is the definition of next man up, and it doesn't matter who's playing that night. They always have a chance to win.
It's all okay. So it's that SGA and Hartenstein are the only two guys that have played every game. Chet's played in 5. And as you just mentioned, Jay Will has yet to play. And that starting lineup gets tweaked basically every night, which almost goes against anything we're used to. So that to me, I think, Lou, is the big story here as well. It's like they just have such a mix and match ability to do anything they want on any given night. I think that's the scariest part about them. Is that wrong?
No, they can go a lot of different ways, but they've turned into a successful plug and play team. But the thing that works for them in their plug and play is everybody that they plug in can play. Sometimes sometimes you put guys on the floor and you kind of got to hide them, or he's a niche guy. He's a 3-point shooter, or he's a defender. Like, no, all of these guys are two-way players on their team. All of these guys can defend, and all of these guys can go out and get you a bucket and can be the leading scorer on it. Well, can be the second leading scorer outside of SGA
True.
on any given night. It's no clear pecking order on this basketball team. They win by committee and they win together. I love what they've created in OKC. So you're not wrong for saying that at all.
Terrifying.
Lou, guess
Terrifying.
you said they're mostly two-way players. Guess what their defensive rating is?
I probably would guess I was going to say top 3.
Number 1. Like when do you see a team this young
Yeah.
buy into that side of the basketball, that want to play defense, that don't care about how many points did you score? Like they don't care. These people, like Cason Wallace, is going to get paid from the defensive end. Like he's gonna make $100 million in his career by getting steals and being athletic and being he's embracing that. Chet Holmgren can defend. Jalen Williams, we haven't seen him yet. He's an all-NBA defensive player. Lou Dort, like just seeing the energy and the effort Lou Dort put on last night on James Harden once he kind of hit those 3 early threes was just mind-boggling how much they almost care more about that side of the floor, which is contagious too, because you don't want to be the guy to let your team down on that end. You don't want to be the guy to get beat. Like it really is impressive how good and how balanced this team is, and they're so versatile. They can beat you in so many different ways. And the biggest thing is the luxury of the depth. It does not matter who is in the lineup that night. Plug in AJ Mitchell, or plug in Aaron Wiggins. Isaiah Joe's their best shooter. He barely plays when they're fully healthy. It's ridiculous how good and how deep this team is.
I think it's scary because now they know it works. So if you're not bought in, you're ridiculous at this point. We kind of did this in the preseason, the couple of days that we were on, about reaching that 70 game mark. It is difficult. Like I understand that when I'm asking it, but I don't know, plus 430 odds of doing it. Anybody taking that? Lou, you like these types of numbers? You thinking?
I don't see them going on a losing streak. I really don't. I don't see them losing 2 or 3 games in a row. So if you could stay consistent like that every month, like used to have 10 to 12 games a month. I think that was the mark. In between 8 to 12 games a month. And when you're on a winning team, your goal is usually, hey, let's get out of this month 8-3. Let's get out of this month 7-3. Let's get out of this month 8-2. And you set those little goals as a team month by month. You could tell that this team is kind of using that recipe to kind of let's micromanage how this season is going and how we go about it month by month. If they can stay in the range of a 8-2, 8-1, or 9-1, something of that nature every single month, I say why not? And it looks like they're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, and it's a long season. I don't want to be ridiculous here, but can you picture them losing 13 games? Like I can't. I really can't. And they're going to be ups and downs. Again, there's going to be, hopefully not serious, but there's going to be some injuries. There's going to be some guys out. There's going to be some tough times for them. But I truly can't see them losing more than 15, 13 games. So I think they are going to be in that position, come the end of the season down the stretch, they are going to be in the position to make history and have the most regular season wins. They are that good. They are that young. They are that deep. All the sports science, all the analytics, all the load management doesn't exist with this team. If it does, it's just an option that they want to do because they're so deep and so good. They want to get some guys in the rotation. But I think history will be made from this team.
Yeah, listen, they've went undefeated in October. They're still undefeated in November. It's only the 5th, right?
They got some games to play with.
Yeah, like, do we see them losing 3 games in November? No, probably not, right? So if you go into December, now you got rollover games. You go into January, you got rollover games. Like, if they're micromanaging this season how I think they are, because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to coming in, hey, November, we got 11 games on the schedule for November. This is our goal. This is how we got to get out of this month. If they're micromanaging the season like that, and it's a tangible goal of theirs, something that they can put their hands on and they know if we carry ourselves in this manner, we can get it, I think they do it.
Their biggest issue is locking up the number 1 seed in like February and then really having nothing to play for besides making history. That's going to be their biggest concern.
Yeah, but they don't even seem like the
last year. They didn't do that last year. I thought they were going to mail some of these games in and rest guys.
They're not a team.
They didn't rest anybody going into the
gas.
postseason.
They
never took their foot off the gas. They didn't rest guys. They didn't rotate guys in and out of the lineup to give everybody a night off. It's like, no, we're going to continue to roll and we're going to keep this momentum going. So I say why not.
And you know what? They're fearless too. They're not a team that's going to be like looking, we want them first round. They do not. They're not dodging any smoke. They don't care who they play.
Yeah, they're a scary group. I'm not gonna lie, guys. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna do some headlines on the other side.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Gentlemen, I know you've been waiting for this, our first edition of Power Rankings of the season. It's never too early, Lou. All right, so Chandler, you're gonna have evens. Start us off.
Okay, we got a couple surprises here. We really do. At number 10, we are starting off with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Look, Anthony Edwards is out. Julius Randle, he's a very, polarizing player, whether you love him, you hate him. The dude is averaging 26, 7, and 6. He is carrying the load while Anthony Edwards is out. They've always been a capable defensive team with the big fella in the paint, Gobert, McDaniels, who can be that Swiss Army knife, versatile guard 1 through 5. They're 4-3. That hasn't been the hottest start, but this team is capable. When they're at full strength with Ant back in the lineup, this is going to be a dangerous team. So we snuck them in there at 10, and I think they're going to continue to rise in these rankings.
At number 9, I like the Detroit Pistons. They're sitting at 5-2. This young team is hooping. They're balling, and everything goes through Cade Cunningham, and he's going to be an all-star this year for sure. My problem with them is I need to see some consistency. I got to see it night in and night out for the course of a season. But in this young season, with only 7 or 8 games being played, I like the Detroit Pistons at 9. I think they even got room to improve and to get in the top 5, top 6 in these power rankings as the season go on. But right now, until they build some trust with me, I got them sitting at number 9.
At number 8, we got the Houston Rockets. This is a team who I think everyone kind of expected. Adding Kevin Durant, we thought they were going to be a top team. They got off to a little bit of a slow start. They're still trying to adjust with life with no point guard. Amin Thompson has handled that beautifully, averaging 6+ assists, playing through the big fella Sengun. They're well coached. They play hard. They defend. And they have a lot of options to go to that 2-man game with Kevin Durant and Sengun. So this is another team. I think they're at 8 now. I wouldn't be surprised if they finished in that 4-5 range, but this is an extremely talented team. I'm just not sold on not having that true, pure point guard, but they don't need it so far, being able to play through the big fella Sengun. But I think number 8 right now is fair for them.
Number 7, they got to be the number 1 seed in the East. Sounds crazy, but I got them at 7. Everybody that's from 6 to 10 right now, I got trust issues. Until I get over my trust issues and I see it for over a half a season, this is where we stand. I think the Chicago Bulls, they're getting their ass whooped a lot. And they're playing better basketball with Vooch and with Giddey being the two heads of that snake. And I think they're gonna win a lot of basketball games with Billy D as the coach as well, with this new lineup and with this new personality that they have. But until I can see that consistently, these Detroits, the Chicagos of the world, I can't give it to them. And we got some more surprises as these power rankings go. But at number 7 right now, I got the number 1 seed in the East at 7 in the Chicago Bulls.
I don't think that's crazy, Lou. I think they got to show us more. It's 7 games, a small sample size, but it's a surprising start that I think is shocking people.
I just trust more. I've seen some of these teams in better positions that haven't had the success early on, and I think they cleaned some of that up. I think that's where it's going to be a little turbulent for everybody.
Yeah, they put people on notice though. All right, number 6. Denver Nuggets. Again, this is one of the Western Conferences so deep, it's so stacked. Any of these teams, I feel like, can make a run to the finals. They are that good. But the Denver Nuggets, anytime you have Jokic in the lineup, you have a chance to win. And how about Jamal Murray start? 24, 6, 5. He's been healthy. He's played 6 of the every game, 6 out of the 6 games. Aaron Gordon's been great.
We don't even know how many games these teams have played yet.
Like 6, 7, 8, whatever.
But I know he's available, and we're seeing kind of that version of bubble playoff Jamal Murray, and we're seeing it in October and November, which is nice, and that is going to be an X factor. We know we're going to get the triple doubles. We know the production we're going to get from Jokic. Can Cam Johnson be great? Can Christian Brown be great? Can Aaron Gordon, who had help kind of offload some of this usage that Jokic has, and they're all doing that great. So I think number 6, and again, I keep saying this is also a team that I think can slide up in the rankings because this is a real contender, not just in the West, but to win it all.
Okay. And that comes with trust. When you have one of the best players in the world, you always feel like you got an opportunity to win. And with that, at number 5, I got the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James being out of the lineup. Luka was out of the lineup for a week. The emergence of Austin Reeves playing the way that he's playing. You got to give this team some credit. You got to give JJ Redick the credit that he's putting his team in position. They got a lot of things working for them. And again, we still haven't seen this team with LeBron James yet. What does that look like? And so for them to be number 3 in the West, still with somebody like a LeBron James being out, being number 3, with Luka going out for a week with his issues, and Austin Reeves being able to throw a 50 out there and put up the numbers that he's put up, this is a team that's poised for a deep playoff run if they can continue. They got a lot of pieces. I still think they can get better at the big man spot, but you got a guy that in DeAndre Ayton right there in the building that can turn into a monster at any given time for you. So I like the Los Angeles Lakers at 5, them cracking the top 5 at 14 plus 100, and they'll give them an opportunity to win some games. So right now, I got them poised at 5. I don't know where they go from here. We're going to see how some of these things pan out, but this is safe to say they're a top 5 team in the league right now.
Yeah, you know what I like about these rankings too? A lot of these surprise teams, like the Bulls, you got guys like Basellas and Giddey that are surprising you. Guys like on the Lakers, Jake LaRavia, you're hearing these names now, and they've been pretty consistent the first 2 weeks of the season. At number 4, we have the Milwaukee Bucks and Ryan Rollins. He's another one of those names that not the average person has heard of, but he's absolutely cooking this year. He's been consistent. They throw him in the starting lineup, and he's been unbelievable. A team that we didn't know where they're going to get that production from on that second tier, second level guy. It's been Ryan Rollins, which is crazy to say because, again, you haven't really heard of him. You've heard of him now. We know what Giannis is going to get. We know what the bench is going to get. Gary Trent's been great. AJ Green's been great. Portis, Cole Anthony. This is a team that's going to beat you collectively. They're going to defend. It's a bit of a surprise just because we didn't know where that production was going to come from. It's a balanced effort. They have 6, 7, 8 guys in double figures every single night. And you have Giannis that looks like he's on an absolute mission to try and get that MVP again. So the Milwaukee Bucks is a bit of a surprise to me, but the hot start you can't overlook. And Ryan Rollins is one of the more beautiful stories in the beginning of the season.
There you go. I like Milwaukee right here at 4. I think that's another one of those teams like a Chicago Bulls. Like, they're tired of everybody just talking trash about them, and we're a good basketball team, but we have to change our culture. We have to change the way that we go about business inside of our building. And I think the Milwaukee Bucks have done that since these last few years of being bounced out of the first round of the playoffs. So I like them at number 4. At number 3, I put this vote in before last night's game, but I like Philly at 3 still. With the emergence of VJ Edgecombe, you got Jared McCain that's going to be back in the lineup. He was poised to be Rookie of the Year before he got hurt. Once you work somebody like him back into the lineup, that's going to give you a lot of depth. Tyrese Maxey is one of the best guards in the league, one of the best scoring guards in the league. He's showing that. If Joel Embiid can get healthy, if Paul George can get healthy and be positive impacts, this is going to be a team that you're going to have to deal with. Kelly Oubre is going to be another guy that's going to give them toughness on the wing. He's going to be able to guard your wings. He's going to be your Swiss Army knife. On any given night, he's going to be able to score the ball. He's going to be able to slash, and he's going to be able to guard your best defender. With all of those things working for them, I still like Philly as being one of the top 3 teams in the league right now. Lost a heartbreaker last night to the Chicago Bulls. I think they fell in love with the jump shot. If they can get back to being an aggressive attack the rim basketball team, they can stay right here at this number 3 spot.
And how about this? To the final 2, and it's 2 of the youngest teams in the NBA, both in the Western Conference. At number 2, Michelle, the race for Sace is on. It's the San Antonio Spurs. Unbelievable start, 5-1 start. One stinker against Phoenix, and I will say they need to make some adjustments when they double and push out Wemby like that, because Phoenix Suns did a great job. That was the only bad game that he's had. This team has it all, though. They have the all-world talent offensively and defensively in Wemby. They also have help on the way with Aaron Fox, which almost going to create some problems, or not some problems, but some decisions to make on rotations and balancing kind of that heavy backloaded guards. But Dylan Harper's been great. Vassell has been great. Keldon Johnson's been great, and Wemby, obviously, it starts with him. Stephon Castle has looked like the rookie of the year. He's taken that next level step to all defensive team. This team has it all. They play defense. They play hard. If the Oklahoma City Thunder didn't exist, we would be talking about this team as, the best setup, the best makeup in the NBA, contenders. It's just unfortunate that they have to go through that juggernaut, in the Oklahoma City Thunder. But this team is in great position. They have it all. And I think they're going to be, primed for a really, really, really good season. And they're looking at home court advantage in the playoffs this year. So San Antonio Spurs, the number 2 spot.
I like that. I like San Antonio at 2, but I will say this. If they don't figure out a way to adjust with the way that Phoenix guarded Wemby and hitting him with a traditional one pass away, trapping the block, and not being able to adjust, Beadle, they're going to be in safe place. and we're going to put Denver right there in second if they don't get it together. But right now, early in this season, I like them at 2. And number 1 is obviously going to be the OKC Thunder. What more can we say about this basketball team? They're young, they're the champions already, and they've come back this season even hungrier than last, and they still have one of their better players out of the lineup. That's a scary sight to see when you're at the top of the West. And Chandler said it earlier in this show. They don't care what the matchup is going into the postseason. They're not running from anybody. They're not scared of anybody. And when you have a team like that, that's young and kind of arrogant to the point where we're not really scared of anybody, that's going to be a dangerous team to beat, especially over the course of a 6 to 7 month season. And then you get into a 7-game series with them in the postseason. I don't see a lot of teams being able to compete with that. So them being undefeated so early in this season, they're showing you that this is another run that we're going on and we're still the team to beat. So that's put them at the number 1 spot for me.
I like it.
Those East-West odds discrepancies are kind of insane. No Warriors, though.
Yeah.
No, we're just not there yet. Or?
Warriors were that fringe team. I think, listen, this is going to change weekly. It's so balanced right now, the NBA, and there's so much depth and there's so much talent. But the Warriors, listen, they're great at home, 4-0 at home. They're 1-3 on the road. They're an experienced, older team. They're going to be a tough outcome playoff time, but I just think these other teams have, the shock value, more surprise, and you can't overlook what these other teams are doing.
Yeah, as of
Chandler,
last night.
Did it hurt having to say San Antonio there? Or did it hurt saying that?
No,
race for Sace? Did you?
I'm not a San Antonio hater. Are you kidding me? I told you I have actual feelings for the Spurs.
No, I'm just happy to hear you join the club. Quick break. The MVP rankings. Never too early for that, for sure. We'll do that next.
Run it up, run it back.
Why not take a quick look at some of the MVP power rankings? We'll do the top 5. So Lou, we're sticking with you and odds. Kick it off.
Yeah, well, at 5, it gotta be Giannis for me. Incredible start to the season. The numbers are there. The impact is there. The winning is there. The only problem that he has, I think, is 4 guys ahead of him that's impacting winning just as much and even on a higher scale. So right now, 5 is that's no slight to Giannis and what he's been able to do, but the 4 guys in front of him are just having an incredible run, and he's doing everything that he can to stay in that top 5. Again, we're very early in this season. This is going to change weekly. This is going to change every single time one of these guys have something going on. We just saw Wemby have his first stinker. Some of these guys are going to have some stinkers, but right now I got Giannis at 5 based on the fact that some of these guys are just a little bit more impactful as he is right now. But we can even make the case that it can be a 3-way tie for top 3 with a lot of these guys. But right now I got Giannis at 5.
Yeah, all 5 of these guys are going to be there at the end of the season. Number 4, I got Luka. I don't care that he's played 4 games. The Lakers are winning ball games. And look at those numbers. He's averaging 41 points, 11.5 rebounds, 8 assists, and he's going to continue to do this. He's an offensive wizard with the ball. He's going to put up big numbers. It's just how many games the Lakers can win. So I got Luka at number 4.
Yeah, number 3, you got to give me the Joker. Love what he's doing. Another season, averaging a triple-double. But again, is he playing better than the first 2 guys that we have on this list right now? It's going to be hard to make a case. So 3 is not a slight to him as well. So I got Jokic at 3.
Number 2, I got the big fella, Victor Wembanyama. His points per game aren't going to blow you away like these other guys. He's not going to be a 35 a game night scorer, but 26. 14 rebounds, and the big number to me is that 4.7 blocks. He's arguably the greatest defensive player of all time already, and he's going to continue to do this. He's a runaway with defensive player of the year. So how much weight will that carry when it comes down to the rankings playing both sides of the ball? But he's going to be there at the end, and they're going to win a lot of games.
And at number 1, we have the guy that has the trophy in his house. It is his to lose.
Back.
And right now, he's poised to still defend his title as the MVP and the champion. That's the list. I got SGA at number 1.
And let me tell you this: if there's somewhere around that 70-win season, he's winning it again.
Yeah, you might as well just give it to him 2 months left in the season. Take a quick break. Wrap things up on the other side.
Run it back, yeah. Run it up, then run it back. Run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Guys, we have 20 seconds. Lakers and Spurs tonight. Who you got, Chandler? Go.
Give me the Spurs. Give me the Spurs. Big fella's going to be too much to handle. 2.5-point underdog.
Leg show.
Spurs.
Leg show.
They've been here 2 days, bro. All right. See y'all tomorrow, buddy.